Okay, we're going to continue on. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to sand with 220 on a block. And I'm just going to sand a little bit to see where we're at. And I'll decide if I want to do some more body work or just use primer. Okay, now you see this is where I primered the other day, and you can see stuff I didn't even do, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand it a little bit and see where everything's at. See all the blemishes and everything. So that's what I'm going to do. Get started. You can see where I'm going to sand here. And places where I didn't do body work, that I'm not going to do body work, I could continue on with this thing forever. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to sand it out a little bit. Like I said, I could continue on with this thing for a long time. It's just not worth it. Cold out here. So I'm gonna just kind of smooth it out a little bit, and I'll hit it with primer again. That's what this gray stuff is primer. So I'll hit it with it again and fill out these, so you can see all these little crevices, probably from the mold of the pan, is what I'm figuring. Just came this way. See those little lines? Those are little crevices. I bet that was from the mold of the, see that? That's just the natural thing on the pan. Probably the mold where it came from when they made the pan. So I'm going to continue on with that, and then I'll come back. Here's some dents that I'm just not going to do it. Just going to do it a little bit, and then we'll paint it. Okay, sanded a little bit, and now I'm going to take the sander and I'm going to sand this stuff to smooth and see how my body work looks. There you can see a little bit of, over here. There you can see some flaws in the Bondo. So I'm going to take the sander and I'm just going to see what happens, and then we'll primer it again and see those lines. That's creases in the, and there's a flaw, the little bit off. So we're just going to hit it pretty good and then come back and see what we got. Okay, I don't think you need to watch that. So here we go. Okay, I sanded this part again. This is where my body work was, right there and over here. So I sanded it and took any flaws that were in it out of it, and now I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna start with this right here, and I'm gonna try to sand all the flaw, or primer it and sand all the flaws out of it. That's what I'm going to attempt to do. Alright. I sanded all this off too. Looks pretty good, actually. I'm just going to make it a little bit better. Alright, put a heavy coat of sand, or a primer on it, and it'll look pretty good when I paint it. Okay, I'm going to shake this up pretty good. Now there's dents, little dings, and those are just going to stay in there. Close to it. Trying to fill up some cracks. See, this side will be towards the front of, or well, the back of the bus. So the other side is the unseen side of the bus. If that makes any sense to anybody. So we'll try to get this side a little better than the other side. There's a dent there. I'm not taking it out. Didn't try to. But it will be a hell of a lot better than it was.
Through.
Oh.
Huh?
Just do a little sanding here. Then I'm gonna put some red primer on it. That's in the house. Just sanding by hand, put a little red primer on it. And see where the high and low spots are. But I'm just going to scuff this up real quick. And then sand it by hand. I mean, sand it with the red primer on it. Just see how close we are. Looking nice. Yeah, you know, it's not going to be perfect. It's a little wobbly, but I'm pleased with the...
Sure you're not talking about yourself being wobbly?
Well, I am talking about myself being wobbly. But I'm just going to sand it by hand, and just a quick job. Not a car. It's not going to be perfect. It's an oil pan for a 671 Detroit diesel engine, so... I'm just going to do a quick job on it. Not as quick as I was thinking it was going to be, but...
Well, that's because you're a perfectionist.
Oh, well. No. No. If I was going to do what I really would like to do, it'd take me forever.
It is taking you forever.
Alright, that's enough. Now I'm going to spray it with red primer. Hot in here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty warm. It's not hot.
This is high right here, low right there. It's an oil pan.
Let me shut it off.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was going. It wasn't going.
No, I just turned it on for a second.
Real quick, and I'm going to primer it with a red primer, and we'll just see the high and low spots, or if there is any flaws in the Bondo that I put on there. So it's just going to be a light coat of primer, red primer, just to see any flaws. Not that I'm going to fix them or anything. I'm tired of this. We'll do it quickly. It's been a quick job. And I'm really not going to do anything on the back side. I haven't done any body work or anything like that. On the back side, this will be the side that more people can see, even if they climbed underneath the bus. So anyway, I'm just going to do a light coat of primer. Feels pretty good, not too bad for the shape it's in. So anyway, I'll spray it here in a minute. Okay, I did a quick wipe down. Hopefully you can see this. A quick wipe down with multi-purpose solvent. So to get away any hand greasy stuff that I've done myself. So I already wiped it down with this rag. Just wiped it down with the solvent. Cleaning solvent. So I already did it. So I'm going to just quickly spray it with this primer. Like I said, red primer, so I can see the difference. I mean, if there's any flaws, and I'll sand it one more time. That should do it. I'll shake this can up and we'll get started. Primer. Shake this up pretty good. When you're spraying paint, real paint, out of a spray gun, you want to keep it level and an even coat. But this can won't do that. See? I just got to do what I can do with a can. See, it spits. It's cold in here, so I'm going to try to not put too much on it. Great. The light coat. Hopefully you can see this. You gotta keep it at an angle, but I don't like, if I had a spray gun, like I was painting a car, see how I keep it in an overlap at about 6 inches? Well, that's what I do in a real spray gun, 6 inches. I don't think the pattern is even 6 inches on this. Like I said, just trying to find the, like, right there I can see some scuff marks, sand marks. in the Bondo or the primer or something. So I sanded the Bondo with 180 grit, and I'll go down to 320 on this, 320 sandpaper. So you can see a little spot right there. That's what I'm trying to find. And so when the final paint job is done, it'll be clean. Hopefully you won't be able to see any of that stuff. But it's just a pan. Turn the heater on after this gets a little drier, so it won't blow all the dust in it and everything. Looks pretty good though. Alright, stop. It's cold in here. Like 30 degrees. So I think I'll let that dry for a bit, and we'll come back, do some hand sanding with 320 just to get the scratches and imperfections out. Not worrying about the body work. Okay, there was a few
Fixing it with the long bros.
Right here was a big, like they fixed something on the pan, so they did some welding and some, I don't know, some soldering or something. So there was a big indentation right here, and I just primered it. So this is 320 sandpaper.
You only have one.
Huh?
You don't have 320 of them.
I should know better than to say huh to you. So I'm just, I see some little flaws, and so I've been sanding it a little bit, getting the scratches out from the Bondo and stuff. Just taking care of little details, about ready to paint it with a can of paint. So, and it's cold in here, so it's taking a little more time than I usually would want. If I had a real body shop, it'd be hot in here, but we don't have that. So I'm just kind of getting some scratches out. And nobody would ever see him but me, probably, huh?
Probably not.
But that's what we do, isn't it? Please ourselves.
Yep.
This is just a quick fix of a beautiful piece of machinery that hopefully will get running someday. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
Well,
I'd like to get Mom. I'd like to. Dad wanted us to. He wanted, when Dad passed away, he wanted to be cremated, and then he wanted his ashes to be spread on the coast in the redwoods, and we were going to do that in the bus. That's what he wanted, for us to go as a family to the redwoods and spread his ashes in the bus on a trip to the redwoods. That was his favorite place. He said when he was in the redwoods, he knew that there was a God, right?
mm-hmm.
And so so I guess this is a, I don't know. Anyway. Maybe an act of love, maybe, I don't know.
Well,
Hopefully our dad's bus.
hopefully they'll be diesel.
This was our dad's bus that he loved, but he was ashamed of too. Now everybody's buying these buses and fixing them up.
Yeah.
He was ahead of his time, and he was a hell of a man. And to say hell in the same sentence as my dad is a
He would get upset if you would sing it on a hill far away. Stood an old rugged cross. Instead of that, you put an old Chevrolet. He would get mad at you for saying old Chevrolet. So,
not mad. He didn't get mad.
no, he thought it was an abomination. You shouldn't sing and defile a song that says on a hill far away stood an old rugged cross. Anyway, I'm going to put this up here, shut it off, and then turn it back on.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna do a little wet sanding, just to. This is with 320. Just to knock off some more edges. Cold in here. Then I'm going to paint it with spray can. Spray can. Then I'm going to hand sand it with some 600. Wet sand it with 600 grit. Like I've said 50 times, it's just a oil pan. Now I'm going to do some sanding by hand with some 600 grit. This is it. I'm done with this thing. backside I'm not really too concerned about. Alright, I'm just gonna clean this thing with some wax. Well, some all-purpose solvent, cleaning solvent. You
Get it on your shoes.
did I? This is probably what's wrong with my hands.
It could be.
I'm just gonna wipe it down. See, I need my tack rag. See all that? You see that hair?
No.
It doesn't matter. It's nobody's gonna see it even.
That's taking the paint off, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just primer. It's all right. It can hurt anything. I'm more worried about hair that's getting on there.
Well, you got a lot of hair to get on there.
Boy, that's for sure. Look at that one. Jeez, about that long, big old thing.
Part of your beard.
Probably. Guess it don't matter.
It's not a
Car?
hot rod going on the car show.
Yeah, right. I guess it is to me. You know? Not my body shop that I used to have. Fans sucking everything out.
I didn't know you had fans.
I have a lot of fans. And they sucked it all out. Alright. Golly. This is what they sent us.
Alpine green.
Supposedly. they're-
Detroit diesel.
Think it's warm enough in here?
Fairly warm.
That's a habit. Light coat. Put a light coat on it.
See the dents?
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of dents in there. We didn't fix them.
I know.
Look at that.
You worry about a little bitty hair?
Yeah.
You know about those big old dents?
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about the hair. It'll go away. When all that oil drips on it.
That's true.
They call them drip troits.
Just kill you in here. This can ain't too bad. Spray's better than the other one. Primer.
Those were pretty expensive cans. $7,000 a can.
Yeah. Is that right? 7,000?
It's gonna get all over us.
Everything.
All of our stuff's gonna be Detroit green. This camera's going to turn into Detroit green. Alpine.
Alpine green. Amen.
You got the Christmas colors going there.
I don't think I need to look at that. Look at that piece of shit. Is that another one? Oh my god. Just can't do anything about it.
Should have that, shouldn't you?
Yeah. Shut up. You too.
Well, I want COVID.
COVID.
Social distancing, don't you know? Oh yeah, that's right. They don't talk about that anymore.
Yeah. It's over with.
Yeah, that's over with. Joe Biden got in there and the nation is healed.
Yeah.
Can't we all just get along now?
Look at that. Right where my body work is. Then I just piss you off.
I'm beside myself. Is that can almost gone?
No. Look at that one.
You missed this corner over here.
Let me finish this first.
Hey, Gito.
It's just one coat.
Hey, Gito. You can turn the heater back on?
Not until this thing dries a little bit. Throwing shit all over the place. What? What?
Thought it was a little heavy right there. So you can see that red.
Yeah. I'm not done. This is just the beginning stages.
Pretty light right over here, too.
See, it's not spraying very good.
Don't heat the cans up.
I did. They've been in the heat.
We'll put them on the burner. I'm going to restart this. It's at 11:34. Okay,